Welcome to Advocate with Dr. Rufus Lowe, where we aspire each and every day to eradicate the silence of good people who allow bad things to happen. And in doing so, we can together provide a new and glorious path forward for all. Our conversation will be based on the teachings of my latest book entitled Shadow Tolerance, Your Guide to Accepting Racial Difference. Shall we begin? Hello all, and welcome to Advocate with Dr. Rufus Lowe. Today, we will discuss the somewhat sensitive topic of white fragility and how it adversely affects racial harmony today. White fragility is a term that's been gaining attention in conversations about race, and for good reason. It refers to the defensive reaction some white people have when their views on race or their own racial advantages are challenged. But why is it white fragility, and why is it such a big deal? Why does it even come up in discussions about privilege and inequality? Well, at its core, white fragility is about discomfort and resistance. When white people are confronted with the idea that they might benefit from unearned advantages simply because of their skin color, it can feel like a personal attack. This reaction often stems from a belief that success and status come solely from hard work, effort, and merit. The idea that race plays a role in shaping opportunities and outcomes can be frustrating or even infuriating for those who see themselves as self-made or pretty much deserving. White fragility challenges their worldview and for some, their sense of identity. For many white individuals, especially those who hold beliefs in racial superiority or have grown up in environments that reinforce such ideas, acknowledging privilege feels like admitting to unfairness or injustice. It threatens the narrative that they have earned everything on their own without any help from advantage. This can lead to, and usually does, a defensiveness, a denial, or outright hostility when topics like systemic racism or white privilege come up. One reason white fragility is such an issue is because it stalls important conversations about race. When people respond with anger or defensiveness, it becomes difficult to have honest, productive discussions, plain and simple. Instead of listening and learning the conversation, it shifts to defending one's feelings or reputation. This can make it harder to address the real problems of inequality and discrimination that persist in our society today. Moreover, white fragility often prevents self-reflection. If someone is quick to dismiss or reject the idea that their race has influenced their life chances, they miss the opportunity to understand how systems of power, work, or recognizing privilege doesn't mean blaming individuals or denying their hard work. Rather, it's about seeing the bigger picture and how history, policies, and social structures have created advantages for some groups over others. It's also important to note that while that white fragility isn't just about personal feelings, it has a real consequence and real consequences. When white people resist or push back against discussions of race, it can silence people of color and invalidate their experiences. It can create an environment where racism is harder to confront because the dominant group isn't willing to engage with uncomfortable truths. Understanding white fragility helps us to see why conversations about race can be so challenging, especially in predominantly white spaces. It sheds light on the emotional labor required to face these issues honestly. But it also offers a path forward. By recognizing these defensive reactions, white people can learn to sit with discomfort, listen more openly, and engage in meaningful dialogue. This is crucial for building empathy and working towards a more just society. In the end, while white fragility is less about individual feelings and more about the broader resistance to acknowledging how race shapes our world, it's a barrier to progress, but one that can be overcome with patience, with education, and a willingness to confront the uncomfortable truths. When we move past fragility, we open the door to deeper understanding and real change.